Hellman. Thanks so much for being here with me today. Now, whether you are a new stamper or an experienced one, whether you only have a few ink pads in your collection or who knows, maybe even hundreds, you can probably appreciate the fact that having the right ink pad storage solution for your needs can definitely improve your crafting experience. When you have the right storage option, you can see your colors, you can access them, you can quickly pull out the ones you want on a project, and then when you're done, put them away and clean up quickly and easily. So what I want to do here today, I'm going to share with you how I store my ink pads. This is using the storage options by Stampin' Up. So I want to share with you first some of the things you want to look for when you're choosing an ink pad storage solution for you. Then I'll talk about some of the features of this storage option and some of my favorite aspects of using this system. And then at the end, I have a helpful tip that I know some of you are going to love. So I hope you'll stick around until the end. So first, let's talk about some of the things you want to look for when you are choosing your ink pad storage option. So the first thing you want to look at is how many ink pads can you store in that particular option. Is it something that's expandable? Is it a certain unit that has a certain amount of compartments? How many ink pads can you store, and can it grow as your collection grows? Also, size is important. You want to make sure the opening size fits the size of your pads because ink pads come in a lot of different sizes. The appearance, if you want it to look nice in your craft area, you'll definitely want to consider the appearance. The size and weight can be important. You want to keep it as compact as possible so that you have as much space for other things as you can. And then if you ever plan to travel with it, then weight is important as well. Is it going to be one large unit? Is it smaller units that can be pulled apart and mixed and matched, or take a few with you if you're traveling? And also, can it be cleaned? So let's look at some of the pieces and parts that come with Stampin' Up's ink pad storage and some of the features of them. So these are stackable units that are designed to be mixed and matched to fit the needs of your collection. So we have several different pieces that I'll show here. We have the ink pad and marker storage option, designed to store your ink pad on the left side and your marker on the right. We have blends storage trays. These are for the Stampin' Blends alcohol markers, which I absolutely love. I can link you here to my video all about the Stampin' Blends markers if you'd like to take a look at that. We have topper lids, which is a flat piece that can be put on top of any of the trays. We also have the topper storage, and these are the ones that I have in my collection. I've chosen to use these pieces to allow me to store my ink refills on the tops of each of my stacks of pads, or each of my stacks of storage. And last but not least, we have the open storage, which will allow you to store other items that may not fit into the marker or the ink pad trays. So I have some of my extra ink pads in one of these open storage. You can put ribbon, adhesives, pretty much anything you can think of in these open storage containers. Now, I'm sure you will want to know this if you use any ink pads besides Stampin' Up! Ink pads. How big is the opening for the ink pad? So if you have other ones, you can measure to see if they will fit. The opening is 3/4 of an inch tall by 3 5/8 inch wide. Now, let me talk about some of the benefits of these trays, this system right here. I absolutely love this. I'm so glad Stampin' Up! Came out with this a couple of years ago. I've been loving it ever since. So first of all, it just looks beautiful. I wanted to show it to you during this entire video because it just looks really nice. It's neat and clean and bright and beautiful. Also, you can mix and match the pieces and parts like I mentioned. So none of us have the same needs when it comes to ink pads and markers. I may have 5, you may have 27, somebody else may have 78. You may have the matching markers, you may have lots of alcohol markers, you may not have any alcohol markers. So you can choose the option and the number of them that you want the Markers and the ink pad storage come in sets of 5, so you can order 1 pack of 5 or you can order 20 packs of 5 if you prefer to be able to store all of your supplies. I love the openings on the top that I can choose this option to be able to store my ink refills directly on top of where my ink pads are, so that when I need to refill an ink pad or a marker, it makes it quick and easy to find the color that I need. I do love the open storage because, like I said, I have a few ink pads that have overflowed or may not fit into these, and I'm able to store them in that open storage. So that is really convenient. I do love the material that these are made out of. They're easy to clean. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I end up with ink in places that I don't really plan on it to be. So having it easy to clean is important. They're very compact. If you look at this, you can tell there's very little wasted space on the sides and the tops of the ink pads. So I love the compact nature of them. I want to keep as much space in my craft area for other things as possible. And they're also very lightweight. Now, I do travel with these sometimes. So being lightweight makes them easy to pick them up, set them in a box. I can set all 4 of these in a box and then pack something, maybe a shirt or a towel or something in the open space, just to hold them all together, hold them tight so that everything stays in place. Now, I told you at the beginning I was going to share a tip with you at the end that I know some of you are going to really appreciate. So I love the stacking nature of these, that you can lift them off, rearrange them, move them around. I think a jet just went over my house, so I bet you could hear that. So I do love this, but if you're traveling with them, it can be frustrating if they're trying to come apart. So here are 2 ways that you can hold these all together if you want to make sure they stay together. So tip number 1 is grab some Scotch tape. It's clear. You can run this down the sides, back towards the back. You can run a piece down this side, run a piece down the other side. That is going to hold everything together and they will stay in place. Now, if you don't want this showing, for example, over here on this edge, I would be able to see this. So another option, if you want to make sure it doesn't show, is use glue dots in between where all of these fit together. You can stick a little glue dot on each side, set it together, and it is going to stay in place really nicely. So that's a great tip for traveling with them and making sure they stay together if you are planning on moving them around. So thanks for joining in with me today. I hope you learned some things about ink pad storage. I hope helped you think about some things if you're looking for some new ink pad storage, some things to keep in mind. Now, you can find links to our storage options by Stampin' Up! In my video description below. I would love it if you will shop with me and order your new ink pad storage with me. If you have any questions at all, please comment and let me know. And please let me know what you think about this. I would love to know. So thanks for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back again next time helping you to hand make with love.